Thank you for being over here. I think that I'm honored that we still have some folks over here because now it's almost at closing time, and I was just discussing with my Norwegian colleagues. I say, yeah, it's sometimes not the most optimum time slot to do a presentation because I said absorbing all that information all day in other presentation can give you, I said, eventually an overwhelming idea of what's happening. But in this presentation, I hope I can make you enthusiastic of something on networking. And networking is really the fundamentals in our solutions. I see today a lot of very high applications running in data center, but eventually delivery of those applications is running over networks. And although networks isn't sexy, it's just, we call them ourselves the plumbers of the IT infrastructure, it's essential. Making sure that we have enough capacity to run it. Also stability, resilience, those kind of things. Today, in this presentation of a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you, I said, what Alcatellucent is doing. And more than that, is also offering a new service model to help, I said, system integrators, but also customers using networks, not in a traditional way of buying it as CapEx, but just using it as an on-demand service, using a consumption model. Use it, pay what you use, nothing more, nothing less. But to start, and I'm not sure for the people if they know Alcatellucent Enterprise. We are a company that provides a part of data solutions, also voice. So if you're speaking with people, normally say Alcatellucent, is that not voice? Yes, sure. We provide all kind of solution of voice, being it on premises, but also doing it from the cloud. But besides of that, we're also offering data solutions for small companies up to very large companies. Large companies, meaning that we are serving customers with over 1 million employees using this equipment gear. And it's just a wrap up, being standard Ethernet, being MPLS, doing all kind of orchestration on those network elements, SDN, those kind of words you're now hearing, but more than that, also doing the monitoring. In the previous presentation, there was scan and doing monitoring visibility of the network. Oh, sure, we also have it. And later, we'll touch it. And then we can say, okay, guys, it looks great, but everyone is doing it, right? We are, I say, one of the best. Now, everyone would say it, but we have also some, I say, some testimonials that Alcatellucent did win a couple of prizes in the recent years. One of them is Interrupt. Of the 5 years, we won 3 times a award. And I think that underlines and also emphasizes that we have something to bring to the market. Also, analysts, the Gartners, the IDCs, you name it, I said, check it on the web, and hopefully you find some positive response. This is just an introduction to the real presentation that you can a little bit, I said, position as what we're going to discuss about. And the agenda for today, it's about the trends that we're seeing in data networking. The next step is, okay, guys, if you have that knowledge about what's happening in the market, what are you going to do about it? And that will be the second step in the presentation. I say our high-level vision, our ideas, what, as we speak, is going to launch in Europe by today. We have been working on a concept for more than a year. Not only we, but also our partners, even partners here in Norway, in telecom, let's say, providing us feedback on the ideas we had, helping us to define the model we're now going to launch the first phase this month. Then, and I think that will be for the technicians, the third point is, guys, how does it look like if we go to a model, new model, what we say, pay per use? How does the architecture look like? Say, what can you do? What kind of advanced services can you run on it? But also, what do you think it's important in nowadays? The automation. Yeah? What we want to have in networks is a speed of time to get a network up and running. Yeah, it's not if you're talking. Let's say an example. In an example, I have seen that in networks where it involves data centers, to move a virtual machine to another, yeah, that can be done. But to adapting the underlying network, that takes time. That really takes time to get it done. If you can have a network following that movement, automated, that I think is the idea behind what we're now going to address. And another point in this one is also the management, yeah, visibility of what's happening in your network, and not on, I say, guys, a high layer, there's something happening. No, really, on a layer 7 level. So knowing what kind of packages going through your network. If it is just a Facebook session, if it is a Citrix session, knowing exactly on which port what's happening. And not only on the outside, into the network itself. And last, a very small demo. I pre-recorded it yesterday. So just to avoid that you normally have with demos that on the moment supreme, there's something happening wrong. It's recorded and we just tested it and it works over here. So let us start with the trends. And this is the model behind it. It's when you talk about solutions, and I'm looking to my own daughters, for them, I said, they don't buy CDs anymore. Yeah, yeah. They tapping in to streaming services. Is it from Apple? Is it from Spotify? It works like that. I'm an old guy. I'm still buying those CDs. The same as Netflix. Yeah, you know it. Just on demand. Time that you go or went to the shop to buy your videos, it's over. It's pure consumption based. And here are a couple of examples where more and more this kind of consumption based pay what you use is, I think, driving this new model. And if you, I said, take it a little bit closer to our kind of industry, the IT industry, looking to that, I said, getting services from the cloud is more and more becoming a normal way of dealing. And talking to customers and hearing what's happening, I think, and I'm watching your faces. What's written over there? Is this recognizable? Do you have customers say, okay, guys, I say, I want to invest in my network. Sure, I want to have the latest and greatest applications. But yeah, sorry, but I have just less money left to invest in a good network to support it. Other thing is that I don't want to invest upfront in new networks, yeah, but I still need to provide the services. I'm obliged to that. For instance, if you look into universities, you have universities, yeah, they're always on a tight, very tight budget, yeah, and then you can come with the most beautiful networks, providing you everything, and eventually say, sorry, but can you sponsor us? Can you do it for free? Yeah. So those kind of things, it's happening. And on the other hand, it's also that there are even customers, and I'm thinking about construction companies. They are building let's say a campus or something else, and on the spot they only need a network for a limited period, not long. So in the philosophy that we have, sure, we have a solution for mobile campus, meaning, yes, sure, we can offer Ethernet connectivity, we can offer wireless on certain things with guest access, fingerprinting, all those kind of things, it's in it. Yes, also, sure, data center connectivity. Yeah, if it is one location, or I said remote, or even I said geographical spread, we can tie it together. This is done for us for a long time already. And tying in to the statement of the invitation, it's run on a certain of proven technologies or solutions, better say. We have, of course, what we think, an intelligent fabric. What it means, in short, it's that you have a network that is capable of providing a resilient architecture in the sense of when I'm running my streams, yeah, and there's a failure, it will be self-healed. Okay, perfect. Yeah, is that it? No, it's much more. It also does an part of automatic configuration. So you put in your switches in a network. Yeah, the only thing you have to do is putting the fibers, if you're using fibers, in the right connectors, and then it will automatically configure. So you don't need to have an in-depth knowledge on the switching. That means that if you are running to a network, you can have just simple engineers, simple in the good sense of word, just screwing in the rack, and it does it automatically. It also helps that if you have a faulty part, just swap it in or swap it out, new one, and it will be part again of that switching family. This is one of the technology. The other one, unified access. Yeah, in that sense, it is nothing so special that it brings you from a customer perspective. If you have your laptop in your hand, yeah, and I plug it in on my Ethernet, I have exactly the same user experience than I'm using it via a wireless. Yeah, from an operational point of view, I want only to have a one, I said, kind of console. Yeah, that if I apply a certain profile to a customer or to a client or to a guest, that it automatically is installed on both networks. Not that I have to go to a special database for fixed and not to a special data for wireless. This is what we see as unified access. And last but not least, and this is what is all turnabout more, people want to have visibility. It's what's happening in the network. It's not only, I said, a red cross if the network is down. No, it's also pre-warnings, trend analysis or predictive analysis, how you want to name it, how a network runs. Now, this is all done. And what we normally do in this area is, okay, guys, good solutions, but can you please pay upfront? Yeah? Pay it now and then you can have it. Then it's yours. And if you need it for 1 year, 2, 5 years or longer, that's yours to decide. Now, and we're going to change this model by, I said, scrapping it that upfront and doing the same kind of network elements, exactly the same as was a CAPEX, but done on a pay-per-use. And how does it work in that respect? That, yes, sure, it's going from a CAPEX to a OPEX, the solutions and also the technology underpinning this is the same. But how does it look like? It's just like ordering coffee or getting water from the tap. Yeah? Simple, really, really simple. Well, it boils down to a solution, yeah, that you are being, I said, going to pay if you're using an outlet, yeah, or a wireless access point. And I included here in price for a few Norwegian crowns per connection per day. This is how it works. And I will show you later that we are not supplying a simple switch where you can buy just on the corner of Oslo somewhere at Media Markt. I don't know if this company is also over here. Yeah? No, it is really a full-fledged, high sophisticated network. If you compare it, this solution, where we think there is a large opportunity for, people will say, yeah, okay, we know CAPEX, you have to pay it up front, that's okay, yeah? And they want to try to compare it to a lease construction. Now, if you're going to lease a network, yeah, you literally are buying it, but then with a deferred payment. You buy this, the equipment, maybe you include the services to get it installed, but eventually you pay it, and it is as it is. Yeah, you maybe are lucky if you want to, I said, expand the network. But one thing lease companies don't like is that you say, sorry guys, I ordered a little bit too much switches. Can I give a little bit of those switches back? Please lower the lease, I said, fee on a month. Now, in this model, you can, yeah, in certain limits. Honestly, you cannot say I order 1 million ports and next month I will come back. It is only a couple of ports I need. There are limitations, but the philosophy behind this is that if you have a pay per use, you're ordering a network where you think, hey, this in certain capacity. Yeah, if you're not using it, I'm thinking on, I said, example of students, if they are having, I said, on holiday, yeah, or there is other time people are not there, weekends, you're not using it. There is an advantage. Yeah, if you have companies that have an influx only on the Monday where you have all those meetings going on, yeah, then you have, I say, a high usage. But for the rest of the week, when there are, I said, out of the office on other customer prem, then you have your advantage. Yeah. So you should compare then this pay-per-use as, okay, it's scalable. Based on the usage, you get a variable bill. And if you want to, I say, narrow down, I don't want to have too much fluctuations, you can switch off ports. Literally, they say, I don't want to have these ports being used, so I'm sure I'm not going to pay for it. And first part, and I think that is for a couple of companies very interesting, you have free capital. And you will say, hey, is it so important? IDC, and I think I want to emphasize that, because when I first heard it, I didn't believe it. 50%, 50, by the end of 2017, networks, they predict, will be, I said, requiring such a solution. Yeah? Even it was a 25, that's a huge market, because you're talking about a really huge market to do that. So, coming back, we have defined a solution, and this, for us, it's phase one. Half this year, we get a second phase, and hopefully next year a third phase. So we're going now to launch it as it is for a solution infrastructure for between 3 to max 5,000 LAN Wi-Fi connections. Yeah, to start. And sure, we can do more, but what we see is that if you're having a network where you have a customer, let's say, asking for 10 or 20,000 ports, they normally want to have a tailor-made solution. What we are trying to address are customers needing a flexible solution where you can have almost instant, and I'm going to show you, instant, you can configure it, very simple. Even the account manager, not having a knowledge on networking, can make a quick proposal to do it, and also do the installation, simple, due to the automated configuration, and you're up and running. Here are some examples. Now we spoke about schools, universities. We have then also large offices. It's your imagination that maybe, as I can drive this picture even better than I have about applying this solution to the market. It's honestly, it's not a solution where you have a very, very small number of clients like advocate offices or other companies. So how does it look like? And this is the principal view of a network. And I depicted here a network for a customer, let's say A, B, C, and D. They have a network, and what we try to grasp here is, okay, we have here some switches, we have here wireless, and we have here an element, and that is being given for free, and is a network element that accounts the usage of the network, and needed to eventually also to understand what's being used, and eventually also invoice the bill. Yeah, because nothing is free in this world, not even this kind of solutions. This information will be pulled by business partners of us, system integrators that like this idea. So they will monitor the daily usage, and the daily usage is really on a port on, port off solution, or a client authenticated on the access point or not. So it will pull every hour randomly if a port is on or off, if it is used or not used. And that is then 24 times a day. Now what we will then do, some things that we cut off the two highest values. So if you have a network with, let's say, 100 ports, and it starts, you have an average of maybe 50, 60 ports utilized, and you have two, let's say 100 for some reason, the 200 will be, I said, kicked out, and we only count those 50. This from the telecom industry, that 95 percentile on a calculation method. Now that information will be gathered by by the business partner, and he will also only collect that information, so no IP addresses or other sensitive information, and eventually that will be sent what we call to a business store. And on the business store a lot of things happen. That is meaning that the account will be, as I said, converted to a billing information. Having said that, and I want to, for those, as I, and if you don't like it, I can skip it very easily. How it works in practice is that Alcatellucent is working with partners. We never, as enterprise, never touch the customers directly. Sure, we're teaming up with business partners, so we're going hip to hip to business partner, but we would never touch them directly and do the business directly with them. Yeah, this is the model. So that's why we have always a business partner, as a being the link between offering this solution, but also offering the service on top of that. Because it's, although it's switching, and I say you can plug it in very easily, yeah, there also should be maintenance on it. There should be cabling should be done. And we don't have the resources to do that. That's the business partner responsibility. We have a couple of people like here sitting in Norway. They can support you with a lot of things, but I have never seen them running, I said, to Norway with a hammer and a screwdriver, those kind of things. That's really from a business partner perspective. So we have a customer, and how it works, it is, in that respect, it's almost, I said, normal. A customer has a request and he wants to have a managed service. What I more and more see that we have customers say, guys, we have our IT department, but it's not our core competence. It's not the thing we want because it's getting more and more complex. We want to secure that we have a secure network, but we cannot get pace to the new developments. So what I've seen, and not only here in Norway, but elsewhere in Europe, that there is a tendency that everything will be outsourced as a service. So the customer say, okay guys, I want to have a managed service. Our partner then goes internally, say, okay, I can do two things. I can do it a CAPEX model, do on top of that the services, or I can use this NOD model, what we call pay-per-use, and make an offer. They go to the network site, and what happened, they just type in a couple of things, number of ports what they need, number of closets, wireless, and that's it. And it runs out. So you get a quote, and that quote eventually should be accompanied by the system integrator on the services. And what then ends is, okay guys, we have a solution, and that is being proposed by the business partner to the customer. And then, let's say, he's enthusiastic, he's like, guys, I need this solution for me. Then what happened, and I must be very careful, the partner says, okay, I want to have a subscription. He goes to our network store. This is just a web interface, very simple. Yeah, you can use it from every. You can use it from your tablet. I use it from my my Android phone. It is, it's very small, the letters, but you can use it. And then you only have to type in, and then if they say, okay, guys, we need it, they can start the subscription. And the subscription on this network, it's the minimum. It's 2 years. Yeah, so you can have a full-fledged network, and that varies between a couple of hundred ports to thousands of ports, from 2 years to 5 years. And if you're doing nothing, just like insurance, we do the same, it will be automatically expand with a month. So if you say nothing, you're still happy, it will automatically, I say, till 7 years, and then we say, hey guys, wait a minute, we still be happy, but is maybe not the time to, I say, do a check on the equipment that's in life cycle management, because 7 years from now, I'm sure there will be a lot of more, I say, advanced services on switches, on your wireless than is now available. So on that moment, we will send the equipment, and then after a couple of months, because we anticipate that if you're sending equipment, you need to give the business partner, but also the customer, a grace period, yeah, a couple of months, and then effect the solution kicks in that the subscription fee really starts to use. That means that after a moment, we can say, okay guys, they are using it, and then after, let's say 4 years, the contract period ceases to exist. Now, the customer may be very happy, say, hey guys, let's expand it. A solution. Another thing, I say, no, I'm so happy, but for me, I don't want to have this model anymore. I'm sure I have a stable company. I'm sure that there's no influx or outflux or layoffs or extra. It's stable enough. Let's keep it as it. May I buy it? Then you can buy it. Or we have a customer says, thank you, leave it, and then it will be sent back. Oh, sorry. Ooh, I was too enthusiastic, I think. And then it stops. And the equipment, and this is, I think, the fundamentals of this model, if you have a short subscription on this model, let's say 2 years, the equipment that may be hardly being used is back in a stock, meaning that it can be reused for other projects. There's the advantage. So if you have a company just needing for 2 years, yeah, you don't want to invest for a network that normally networks 7, 8, sometimes longer, will operate. And there are, for those customers, are the real savings. Okay, what's the value for the end customer? Okay, no capex. It's OPEX investment upfront. And you have flexibility in it. Yeah, you don't need to have the expertise to run your network. And it may be scary to some customers, really. Yeah, because they have people working over there and they say, wait a minute, does it mean that yeah? But on the other hand, you can also, as I said, train those people to do other, even more important things than only, as I said, maintaining a network. And for the partners, okay, guys, in fact, the same. It doesn't mean that they have to buy upfront the equipment. Yeah. Then it is in their possession. Then they have to install it, and after acceptance of the customer, just as acceptance, then they can invoice. It's also for the business part. It can be a very interesting proposition. The architecture, and I hope this is still. If there are questions, please raise your hand, and I will try to explain it. What you see over here are, in fact, 3 elements. The one at the top corner, and I'm going to show it, it's a server. And that service will be provided for every network on this solution. And that does the accounting. First of all, what it also does, it provides you a dashboard, local, what ports are on or off. It also provides you insight, if you're using a certain configuration, insight in application usage on layer 7. Really, you can look in the streams. It does about 1,000 signatures, if I'm correct, what it can look on and also monitor it. In the middle, and this is our 2 switches. If you are using a service model, what you want to guarantee is that this network is always up and running. This network can run on one of those switches, yeah. But for security or resilience, we double it, yeah. And also over here, those switches have even a double power supply, yeah. Because if you look to the MTBF figures, if something is failing, it's the fan of a power supply. Those kind of simple things. And on the bottom, under the core network over here, we have the access switches. And this is the bare minimum scenario. So looking, we have here a switch, and this switch, we call it the X72. It offers, in fact, 48 10 gig ports and 6 40 gig ports. Yeah? So that is for a normal organization, should be enough. Yeah, if you have 480 gig on access capacity to run through your network. On the bottom, we have the access switches. They are linked up via 10 gig interfaces to the switch. So if one switch fails, it's always reachable. This, what we call, is a virtual chassis. Sometimes we also refer to this model as a pod. it's a mesh, because we can extend this model. Yeah, and meshing means really put another switch to it, and it has two legs to the other one, but it will still function and seen from the outside as one switch. We can even expand it even more from a pod to 6 of those switches, but that's not relevant for this discussion. It gives only the fact that it's based on a mature solution we're rolling out, I say, all over the world. If, and this is the second part, if we have, I said, a network, you normally would expect also your local service to connect it to it. Those servers over here and those WAN services, your DHCP, your other solutions, are not part of the solution. We have thought about it, but the complicated thing is if you're talking with clients, they say, no, I have already my own equipment. And by the way, if you're using this model, it doesn't prohibit you to use your own equipment. So if you are looking to this model and you say, hey guys, I still have my old switches connected to them. You don't have to buy, I say, new gear if you still can use the old stuff. Even more, till 10 network elements what are not part of the standard offering, we can still do also the monitoring for it. So it offers a lot of flexibility. Okay, and guys, we can extend it. You can extend it with 1 to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 switches. You name it. Then the fun part comes in, and that especially what people still like more and more, it's the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi on instant access points. Instant access point is a solution what we have. And the most simple thing, and here's one of the experts, it's you have one access point and all the logic sits in it. You glue it on to the ceiling, and if you have a second one for more coverage, glue another one on the other ceiling, and those equipment go to talk to each other, and they will configure the network as it is. Now, that you can repeat to 20, 30, 40, but at a certain moment in time where you say, hey, my network is, let's say, 100 access points, and then you're talking about serious and wireless network, what we normally recommend, hey guys, I say, use the model of wireless controllers to it, just to ensure that you have the capacity in your network and also the advanced features to do that. This is only for, as I'm showing here, the local office or the headquarters. And then in the model you can change it by adding remote locations, because there are several companies that have branch offices, and meaning that you can have a remote location with pure fixed network, with maybe an extension, or also with Wi-Fi. Now, to give you some quick slides on what you can do, this is the architecture to add from a logical point of view with a couple of customers. Same solution, and if they have a headquarters or remote location, it doesn't matter. Everything what's happening in a network will be accounted, not built, accounted based on the utilization of the network. And I mentioned that for a fixed network, it is based on the switch port on or off. For clients on the Wi-Fi network, it works a little bit different. It works on the basis of how many clients are connected to a access point. Now, what we do over here is that we are using a mechanism that we say the minimum is 3, we will count, and the max is 10. Now, knowing that on access points, you can easily serve, let's say, 20, 30 clients with 1 meg, yeah, on the good conditions, you can raise it. But everything above 10 will not be taken into accounting. So there's a limit. So for, I say, lecture halls or high density networks where you can gather with, let's say, a couple of hundred of people, yeah, you only need a couple of access points, and then you have a very good solution for that. Now, in this model, we can change some things. Here we have the 10 gig, and we can play a little bit that we say, no, we don't need 10 gig. We can also use a remote location, but then use it on a 1 gig. And why is 1 gig? In the philosophy we're using is we counting based on is a port on or off, but depending also on what kind of port it is. Is it 1 gig, is the 10 gig port, or is the 40 gig port? and you can understand that the price tag of a 40 port is a little bit higher than of a 1 port. Yeah. So if you have locations where you don't need the max capacity, then it can be wise, yeah, just to use a 1 gig. But it's up to, I said, the solution. This is one of the projects I recently worked on, how you can, I said, expand this NOD model, because normally we think, okay, we have a campus and we have fixed and wireless, that's it. But then they run into a customer, say, yeah, it's good. I have a headquarters, and the headquarters, it's over here. Where's my ear? This was his headquarters, and obvious. But I said, yeah, but I have also a part of that. I have my data center, and the data center was located on his campus, but not in the headquarters. So it's a special building for his data center, and due to, I said, his business type, he had also a backup data center, and it was over here, and it was about 25 kilometers, I said, away from his other data center. So using this model, yeah, and using his current infrastructure, because here's some dark fiber with some multiplexer stuff to it, with his SCSI, with his server parks, we managed to turn this NOD model in a services model. Yeah. So using it exactly as it is, proven technology, it's only changing the way how it is counted. And this is one, and I'm also proud of it. This has come from Telecom. This is a project currently on hands on student apartments. Yeah. And where they started to having a dormitory of students where they have about 33 fixed switches, and they are, I say, running that with all students having their own FAT access point. Now you can imagine if you have so many switches and hundreds of students with their own FAT access points, now it's perfectly for, I said, almost no airspace left to use it. So in this model, what we say, you can turn it around and use this model and provide for those students your Wi-Fi network. Don't, I said, let it done by the students. Provide it as a kind of service to it. Yeah, it means you have a clean airspace and you have a lot of more, I say, bandwidth for the students, because that's what it's all about. And it is here over in Oslo. Okay, some scalability facts. If you're looking to the numbers, it can scale first with 3 closets, and you can scale it up to 40. Yeah, and then you're speaking about already a large network. And looking to the switches, you can start on one closet with 1 switch and go up to 8 switches. And a switch can have 48 ports, so 8 times 48 times 40. That is really, I said, big numbers. The sweet spot, by the way, is between 300 and 4,000 connections. The switches on itself, and that has to do also with the flexibility. Every switch in the network, as it is an X switch, will be supporting power over Ethernet. Yeah, so there is no choice of saying no, I want to have, no, it's standard. Why? Because we want also to limit the number of variables in a network. Standardization, do it, power over Ethernet. Don't argue about it. Yeah, yeah, simple, straightforward. Then, how it works. In the model, and that ties in also to the previous, people want to have visibility in their network. And if people are going to use this service on demand, there are clients say, I want to see what's happening in my network. For maybe universities, yeah, you want maybe to see what is consuming my network capacity. Yeah, and sure, if you can monitor your line, you can see, okay, it's X amount of data go through it, but what is consuming it? And in this solution, we have included 2 types of switches. Our, call it regular switch, and one of the advanced switches we have. And the advanced switch has a coprocessor that really can look on each line, yeah, and do the monitoring on application level 7, what's running. And here you have some some examples. Here they say, okay, it's SAP or it is Salesforce.com, it's Facebook, it's Twitter. You can name it, yeah? So you can monitor almost indefinitely all kind of applications on the network. Those reporting will be done and can be provided to the end client. So they will have a kind of a report with top N highest usage. Yeah, yeah. It can also be said done on not only network but on a switching level itself. It can also help you to predict, yeah, do trend analysis for currently but also in the near future. Yeah, what's going to drive your network, so that you're not being confronted in a situation you didn't expect it to happen. And here is some of those things. Yeah, it is very tight, but yeah, the point is here, and I will show you later a little bit larger, what you can see in the network. I think the next slide. The automated deployment, and I go to run it very fast through it, due to the timing also. And it's, having said that, people say, what's automated? Yeah, how does it work? Is it really automated? Now, coming back to the picture where we have a hardware server, we have a core, and we have those switches behind it. Yeah, what will happen if you are using this philosophy is that you're going to install that hardware service, make sure there is a connectivity, let's say, to the outside world. Yeah, and you get a very simple a USB pen with it. A USB pen giving you the right information that the server knows where to connect his master, but also containing the images and software configuration for the network itself. So if it has been ordered, an automatic pen will be, created with all right configs. So the engineer, going to screw in the switches, yeah, has one thing to do: make sure that the management has connectivity, yeah, that he has also connectivity to the underlying switches, and what then helps is that it will be automatically configured in the first step. What then will happen is that the VC, the core, will automatically be configured. Yeah. Then, if that is done, also the underlying switches will also be configured. Yeah. And as last step, the wireless will also be included. So you have an up and running network, but there's one thing, you know that every customer has his own IP plan. That's not in, because we don't have knowledge on the IP plan, and we don't want to have it. There are even in some countries, I don't know, for Germany, if you're running this kind of services and you want to run it outside Germany, and it's forbidden to transfer MAC addresses and IP information outside Germany. So we don't touch it, we don't want to know it, to keep it as general as possible. So the partner who's going to install it is still needed, let's say, to have a engineer remotely, yeah, logging in, do that kind of things, and yeah, that can be done, I say it very quickly, and then your network is done. But he doesn't have to consider, putting all VLANs into it, and the trunks, and all those kind of, time-consuming solutions. And coming back, in case we have a severe failure, let's say a lightning, and one of those switches is off, the only thing you have to do is go to there, the engineer, pull it out, plug one in, and it will be automatically reconfigured. This is what we call the automation of a network, meaning you have a very quick uptime, and that helps also with the end customer making use of this solution. I think I've touched this one, and in the current stage 1, what we have is, I made some red circles, is using this part of our portfolio. Sure, we have much more, but what you first want to have, it's a solution that we want to have also interaction with the end customers, if this is what they want. And I already know that we in phase 2, we're looking also for more solutions for data centers. We're also looking for more access solutions, that other things. But this is what we now currently have for this half coming year as phase 1 to be rolled out. Briefly, the management, because this is what it's all about. And here you see some larger pictures of the screens you can look, where you have on the top, you have a business portal that can run several tens, hundreds of clients. Yeah. So using that master with kind of pop-up screen to pay attention to certain networks. Yeah. But also the client coming back can also look what's happening in his network if he has used the right, I said, advanced switches to have that level 7, I said, in-depth knowledge of his applications. This is what I recorded yesterday with the help of my youngest daughter, and I hope it works. And this is an example how it works to configure a network. So what you have seen, yeah, we have a client, we have a core, we have access switches, and we have wireless. So what I did yesterday, very simple, I plugged in some figures, and within 5 minutes, it's up and running. And I can show it how it works, and hope it works. So I'm now in the tool. I'm creating a quotation name. I call it LAN and Wi-Fi for local, I guess, and remote locations. Then I think, okay, what's the duration? Okay, what's the name of the customer? Wow. ABC, original. And then I have to check, okay, for the Netherlands. I've saved it, and here I can choose, okay, what kind of access switch what. Okay, it's standard. Do I need management reporting? Not now. And how many wireless access points do I want? 12. How many wiring closets? 3 will be enough. So, then, if you're having 3, you have 3 lines. Now I'm going to type in the first floor of wiring closet 1 with 96 ports. The second floor, I can choose it also here, and I leave it to multi-mode. And the third, it's third floor, and also with multi-mode. Then we go to the remote locations. So how many remote? Okay, choose 2. You get 2 lines. You fill in the names, how it is. And also here you can choose how many ports you will have. Also how many wireless ports. And I thought for B, I did the same thing. It's just to show you how it works. This is what you need to do. And now you have configured a network. So the only thing I do, saving it. Should I buy it already or no? Let me first check it, what it is. So based with this tool, I can generate a Word file and a Excel file. So this comes out of the tool. It's a solution for 4 years. 3 closets, 2 remote closets, and here you have a kit list with all the equipment needed to install this thing, including the management tool and including also the optics to it, because it's fiber network normally, especially if you're long distance in buildings, it's fiber. Now, it also generates a Excel spreadsheet where you can play with to say, guys, I need X amount of servers to it. A server, is it a 1 gig port or is it a 10 gig port? And this is the model as we use. So you see that, how simple can it be almost? And using this information, an account manager or an interaction with an end customer or vice versa can easily, I say, define. I say, guys, give me a gut feeling. What will it cost? If it's 2 years, oh no. What's the difference in 2 years or 3 years? Or make it 5 years or longer. So it's an online tool. You can play with it. You can change the modeling and help them better understand what the impact is. All right. Then we can close this one. And okay. So the conclusion for me, it's, guys, we have in fact a solution where we can, if you're engaging with customers, and it's not that you must force them to this model, although IDC predicts that 50% will ask for it. Yeah? More kind of consumption-based model also on networks. Yeah, and we're already offering for voice, but now for networks, and that is in that respect an evolution. So yes, we have it, but on top we want to provide them, I say, the flexibility in services. Yeah, and with all kind of features in it. If it is from QoS, it is power over Ethernet. If it is the most advanced feature, it's in there. So that's not the question. And sometimes you must wondering if customers are really, I say, demanding those kind of things. They're happy if they can have the good, I say, quality of service. If they have the low latency, I say, the uptime, I say, the service availability, they're more than happy. So what we try is to deliver, as said, and what we call it agility to the IT department, is that without a lot of effort they can serve their customer demands. Yeah, that is one thing. On the other hand, also, if there is a failure in the network, yeah, it does self-healing. Doesn't mean that you not do nothing. No, you need to replace certain things. If it's broken, you do that. But it doesn't need to impact, I say, the service quality. And at last, I think also want to emphasize that it is a model that helps, I said, bridging certain demands of customers that don't want to upfront invest in this kind of networks. Coming back, we are the plumbers. We are not, sexy enough in this world, because applications, if it's running on your, and you can see, wow, yeah. If this broken and it's going to leak, then people start to complain, but you will never, will hit the top one with, wow, that's what we need. So hopefully it helps, I said, people, business partners also, and customer, to use their, the fundamentals in the other way that will better suit them, and cope with the coming up demands of even more, applications, in the networks. This is what I like to convey in this small presentation. Do you have any questions? It's a lot of audience. Well, why did you scare them?
It's a tough one on the last.
I know.
But I could ask, where are you from? What companies are you from? Where? Frontica. And what you work with? What's your product? Or responsible for network. Okay. And over here? Relevant. Sorry? And what do you do? Or?
I'm a consultant. I'm doing networking.
Oh, okay, so it's relevant.
Okay. So here are the real,
The hardcore is.
The hardcore, yeah.
The hardcore is, yeah. Okay, great. So.
Yeah, but yeah.
Just one question is a little bit on the side here, but for 2015, in the magic quadrant of Gartner, I guess you have been asked this before, for wired and wireless LAN, I could not find Alcatellucent.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has mainly to do that we are not so present in North America. We have spoken about it, and it seems that if you want to be in that quadrant, it's not for free. As a company, you have also to pay for it. Yeah, and get a lot of discussions with those folks. And yeah, we're working on it, and we want to get back in it, because in fact, our solution from a, technical perspective, even, evolved. Yeah, so it's not that, it's really, getting that attention back.
Yeah.
So it's not that we have a bad solution, in contrary. Help that answer your question?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
One more question. Secure LAN or is sort of standard at our location, meaning that it's certificate based to get access to the network.
Yeah.
Are you planning? Is it part of the solution now? Are you planning to make it part of the solution?
It's maybe you can answer it, because we're using the same technology.
The question was if it's part of the solution, and it's not.
No, but
It's of course the possibility of doing it.
yeah, is there?
Part of the solution.
Yeah.
But it's not part of the delivery,
No.
so to speak. But it's typically add-on services from the
Yeah.
partner, right? To configure and enable what's needed to do the authentication. And
in our setting, we have an outsourced IT operation to TCS, and so sort of we have them already as a partner. So in that sense, it's a little bit,
Yeah.
How this fits in. But of course, it will be interesting to
Yeah,
discuss no
yeah.
matter what. Just equipment into that model, but
Yeah.
we already have a partner.
Yeah.
We of course we haven't
Yeah.
discussed with TCS whether they see this as something that they would operate or have competence in,
Yeah.
or at all.
Yeah.
But in Norway, do you have who would be the partner to contact for us to
Oh.
have that type of discussion?
The partner. It's
Yeah, we have Intellicon,
Yeah.
which is one of our partners.
In Telecom?
Yeah, Intellicon.
Up to now, that's yeah, it has been discussed with in
Yeah.
Telecom
Yeah.
as a partner, which is interested in delivering this
Yeah.
based on this model. There could be other,
can you hear it?
of course.
Okay.
There could
Let's
be
come
other
and sit over here.
of course, but Intellicom is the one that
Yeah.
has been involved so far.
Yes, because for us then, if this should be any, I think it's more like it's. Are you still selling equipment, or are you?
This is one of the delivery models we have.
Yeah.
It's only
Is
one.
this the only delivery model?
No, no.
No,
This
this
is
is
one
one
of.
of, yeah.
It's
One of. Yeah.
It's a new kind of deliverable, but it's not the only. Of
So
course.
you can
But it's still in Telecom that we should contact.
Yeah.
No, for the capex solution,
Yep.
if you want to buy.
Yeah, if you want to buy equipment.
No,
There's,
then we have
there's more
multiple.
partners, multiple
Sorry?
partners,
We have
multiple
multiple.
partners.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who should we contact
You-
just to have start such
Are
a
there any
discussion?
partners present? No.
Otherwise,
we are here with Intellicom. So yeah, please contact
Yeah.
Intellicom.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there are others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the
Meet us after 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Thursday.
yeah, and that's maybe I want to really emphasize that this N&D model, we are delivering equipment. It will never be owned by the business partner. It will never be owned by the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ownership stays with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the utilization. Yeah, it's like the minibar. You're going to enter a hotel, you pick some drinks out of it,
But you don't own the bar. Right?
but you don't know. Yeah, no, but that's the philosophy. And
No, I understand the
Yeah.
philosophy,
Okay.
but it's just that, it's...
Yeah.
The philosophy is great, if we had been a greenfield thing, but we're already
Yeah. Yeah, but
paid for the operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have of course a lot of investment in different equipment, so it's,
Yeah.
it's more kind of, building a cheaper edge because we have to refresh the edge.
yeah.
It's those type of things,
Yeah.
and it's not because we want to be there,
No.
but so it's more. This is more longer term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see more shorter term, we need to discuss all the delivery models.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing in this model, what I showed, and really coming back to a couple of slides earlier, I don't know if I have it over here in this model. Oh, here you see it. Wait, maybe this one. No, sorry. I tried to gray it out. Everything what is gray over here, yeah, it's not part of this solution. We had a lot of discussions, yeah. So we don't going to deliver when. We have when in our, but the point is that if you're entering a network, yeah, a part of it, if it is greenfield, maybe then you can deliver it completely. But people say, I have my own equipment. Why should I throw it away? Because we think we should include it in there. Also things like a VPN solution. It cost a couple of, in the Netherlands, I thought 200, 300 euros, such a box. Yeah, but every business partner use different. Yeah, and there you have it. Also the reuse of equipment, it's still possible. So if you have a number of wireless access points, and you see this model, say, should or need I do to buy also Wi-Fi? No, then you buy only the fixed part, and reuse, I said, that wireless what you have, because otherwise it's a waste of money.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I hope it helps.
In Telecom.
Or you can also talk to us directly.
Yeah.
Because we're from
Oh,
Africa.
I'll give your business
So
card.
like we said, you have a business card.
Yeah, we have it over at
Yeah, we can give
No
you a-
questions?
Yes,
Thank you. Hey. Please say to GP that I was on time.
No, you were over time. No, because
I wasn't over.
leave